In its exquisite line of vehicles, Chevrolet has released a couple of rare and valuable muscle cars. Today, we will be looking at 5 super rare and valuable Chevrolet muscle cars. Trust me, you're going to enjoy the ride. Coming in at number 1, 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88 Coupe. With a regional NCRS Top Flight Award, a national Top Flight Award, as well as the NCRS's Duntov Mark of Excellence Award, given to Corvettes from years 1953 to 1974, with NCRS scores of at least 97 out of 100, the 1967 Chevrolet Corvette L88 Coupe stands out as one of the most exciting products of the Chevrolet Group. One of only 20 L88 Corvette coupes built in 1967, and reportedly the only red-on-red example, the coupe originally came with RPO A85 shoulder harnesses and a 4.56 gear posi-traction rear axle. Far too deep pretty much for any other use than drag racing. Like all L88s, the coupe came with its factory-rated 430 horsepower, 427 cubic inch, solid lifter aluminum head, V8, and a host of other mandatory options, including M22 close ratio 4-speed transmission, C48 heater delete, J56 heavy-duty brakes, and F41 suspension. In 2014, the coupe set an auction record by selling for a whopping $3.85 million. That is a record-breaking sale price, not just for L88s, but for any Corvette ever sold at auction. It is still the most expensive Corvette ever sold. Coming in at number 2, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454. The beginning of the 1970s was the peak of the muscle car era, and guess which vehicle was at the forefront of that? Yes, the 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454. With a 454 hydraulic lifter with 360 horsepower known as the LS5. The LS6 followed after that. This take-no-prisoners 454 engine had a forged aluminum piston, a forged steel crank, and connecting rods, a forged 800 CFM Holley 4-barrel on an aluminum manifold, solid lifters, 4-bolt main, and deep groove accessory pulleys. It also had an 11.25-to-1 compression ratio. The Chevrolet Chevelle SS 454 was a class above the rest. No automotive engine has ever had a factory horsepower rating higher than that. Talk about raising the bar. The overall cost of an LS6 was over $1,000 with the required options, which included either the Rock Crusher 4-speed or the unique Turbo 400 automatic. Posi traction was an additional $42, and the axle ratios ranged from 3.31 to 1 to 4.10 to 1. The SS Chevelle sported a stylish new dash and drove with far more grace than its size and weight would have you to believe. The Chevelle driven by Ray Allen and Troopy Kling that won the NHRA Superstock Championship is the most well-known of this X-Race vehicle. At Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale in 2006, that vehicle fetched an astounding $1.24 million. Number 3, the 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Few muscle cars can boast of being a step ahead of an L88 Corvette, but this one definitely can. The 1969 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 may be the most complete Chevy in history, excelling above the rest in areas where few production muscle cars dare even tread, especially in terms of power and speed. In fact, HotCars.com described it as an extremely rare, extremely expensive, and considerably fast. The 1969 Camaro ZL1 is a quintessential muscle car. Pretty impressive, right? The Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 was the cream of the crop of a fantastic line of Chevrolet Camaro cars that debuted in 1967. Thanks to its impressive power and exciting styling, Chevrolet's reintroduction of the ZL1 badge in 2012 and again in 2017 up to 2022 demonstrates the significance of this special addition to the brand and its customers. Fitted with an L72 big block engine that produced 460 foot-pounds of torque at 4,000 RPMs and 425 horsepower at 5,600 RPM. It had a 427-inch cubic big block engine made entirely of aluminum with a codename ZL1 that was intended for drag racing. The 1969 Chevy Camaro ZL1 engine was unique not only because it was made of 356 aluminum, but also because it was capable of producing 500-plus horsepower with no problems. Additionally, it had a larger cam for drag racing, which was very useful for further tuning. In addition, it allowed Chevrolet to pair a gorgeous muscle car with top-notch specifications for better sales. In 2020, a 1969 Camaro ZL1 sold at Barrett-Jackson Scottsdale for more than $1,094,500. Amazing stuff. Number 4. 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11. The Impala is one of Chevrolet's models that has been around the longest and is most well known. Impala manufacture continued until 2020, despite the initial model being unveiled in 1958. As expected, over the years, it has received many adjustments and improvements that have continued to satisfy the customer base and keep them hungry for more. However, one particular model stands out, the 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11. Unsurprisingly, this model is sometimes called the meanest and rarest Impala ever built. This vehicle had a top speed of 60 miles per hour in approximately 4.3 seconds. It had a quarter-mile speed of 10.8 seconds. These speeds are pretty outrageous, especially for a 1960s car that was viewed as more of a family vehicle in its later years. This Impala model achieved a thrilling feat by being the first stock car to surpass 120 miles per hour over a quarter-mile run. A 427 cubic inch, 7-liter V8 engine powers the 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11. It generates a substantial 430 horsepower as well as a robust 575 foot-pounds of torque. It should be noted that despite having greater power than the previous model, the Impala is lighter. According to AutoEvolution.com, the 12.5-to-1 compression ratio was used to achieve this. The company also chose lightweight materials for the car's fenders, bumpers, and bonnet to reduce the vehicle's total weight. There were 300 fewer pounds in the 1963 Impala Z11 compared to the standard Impala. The 1963 Chevrolet Impala Z11, known as Old Reliable, was sold for about $525,000 in 2017. And last but not least, the 1968 to 1969 Chevrolet Yenko Nova SS 396. The Nova SS was the first factory-built Chevrolet vehicle to pair a big block V8 with a mechanical lifter and automated transmission. They quickly gained the nickname Mystery Novas. Few people had any knowledge of them. Even the rivals protested when they came across one because they were unaware of the Nova TH400. The ability to alter the torque converter's stall speed had recently become common knowledge. Gibb believed that 375 horsepower, 396 Nova SS might triumph in the stock and superstock automatic transmission divisions. The $280 SS package had a nearly quadruple increase in sales to $17,564 in 1969. The package included an upgraded interior, the Crucial engine, SS emblems, a blacked-out grille, simulated hood vents, fender louvers, and other features. Front disc brakes, a 3-speed transmission, and a heavy-duty suspension were added to the functioning SS, in addition to the 350 cubic inch 300 horsepower V8 that came standard. Again, big block customers preferred the 375 horsepower mill over the 350 horsepower one by a margin of 5,262 to 1,947. Highlighting the Nova's 500-pound weight reduction over the Chevelle, 396 Nova SS covered the quarter mile 0.1 seconds quicker than a Chevelle with similar equipment. 15.15 versus 15.4 seconds. The 1969 Yenko 427 Nova SS embarrassed all other Novas with quarter-mile runs in the high 13s to mid-14s. Don Yenko persuaded Chevy to drop a 427 between the frame rails. Don Yenko has been quoted as saying he should have never built the Yenko Nova. He thought it was too much power for people to handle. Thank God he made that mistake and created one of the most beautiful and powerful muscle cars ever made. If you're looking to buy a 1969 Yenko Nova SS, it will set you back an astonishing amount of money, about $500,000. Sometimes, old is gold, and if you're looking for vintage cars and collections, then Chevrolet has enough variety to choose from. Which of these would you love to get for your collection? Let us know in the comment section below.